Hi guys, Andy from Andy Froy Survival. We're back out in the woods. Going to do a short video on cutting techniques. Okay, that is cutting techniques today with your knife. Okay, so all these little sad sayings, your knife is your life, you're only as sharp as your knife. You need your knife to survive in this in the wilderness. Okay, this is a true lifesaver, your knife. We've done videos on knives before. This is the Mora companion knife. This is what we use on survival school courses and Andy Froy courses, survival courses, and this is what I use and have used for the past 5 years. It has never let me down. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to make a peg. Okay, sounds simple, yes, but if you can make a peg, you can then make a spoon. If you can make a spoon, you can make a fork. If you can make a fork, you can make a pot hanger. You can make traps and snare releases, some trigger mechanisms for traps and snares. The list goes on, but you have to start somewhere. Okay, and the best place to start is with making a peg. Okay, all these cutting techniques that we're going to use to make a peg, we can then use to make traps and snares, trigger mechanisms, and so on and so on. And then you can go on to making spoons. If that's what you want to do, you can make some spoons. If you get bored out in the woods, a good thing to do is start whittling spoons. It's really good for your cutting techniques. Okay. So, also what I've got here is a Bushcraft tri-stick. Okay, it's got all the different cuts that we could use for our cutting techniques on here. Okay, so it's got beveling at the top here. So when we're going to cut something down or bash something into the ground, this will mushroom out. So what we've got here is we've beveled the top here, or chamfered the top, and that's going to stop that mushrooming out. We've got here a duck beak hook. Okay, we're going to use one of them on our peg here. Okay, so it looks like a duck beak. Moving down here, just all sorts of different cuts that we could use for laying in another stick for traps and snares, trigger mechanism. And down here, another one, sort of a square cut into the wood here. So another sort of beak here. And here, what we've done is we've drilled a hole basically with our knife straight through this piece of wood. So you cut it down first of all, and then you keep going through with your knife. It's a square cut as well. You're not just drilling in; it's a square cut. Okay, we've got another duck beak notch here, a little bit of a deeper one, coming up to another hook cut here with a stop cut, and then you cut in with your knife gradually, bit by bit. And on the very end here is a break for taking the bark off of conifer roots, okay, for making natural cordage, which we'll do a video on one day. Okay, so this is a Bushcraft tri-stick. Okay, Bushcraft is basically the godfather or the grandfather of bushcraft. Okay, so check him out. Everything he does is what we do on our survival school courses and Andy Froy survival courses. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a peg. So what I've got here is I've got a bit of ash, okay, that I've just cut off, and I'm going to turn this into a peg. Okay, so what we're going to do is using safety first as well, guys. So good cutting tool safety. I'm going to use a firm hand grip. Okay, so I've got my hand in a fist, sort of a punching fist, and I've held it right up to the top of the hilt, as far up as I can safely possible. Okay, so I've got a nice firm grip on my knife. I'm not going to cut in between my legs. Okay, this is the triangle of death. If you cut anywhere within here, your femoral artery, especially out in the wilderness, if you're on your own or just in a remote area with a team, you're not going to last very long. You're going to bleed out, and yeah, that'll ruin your day. Okay, so we don't cut ever in between here. When we teach people on courses and they're sitting down, we sit and tell them to rest onto their knees. Okay, but sitting like this, I'm going to cut away from myself. Okay, to the side as well is a really good idea. Okay, and then we are aware of our surroundings as well, so we're not going to cut any part of our body. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to put a point on the end of this. Okay, something that's going to go into the ground. So, okay, so I'm going to pick this end here, and using a firm grip, okay, I'm going to just pull down, okay, all the way around. I'm going to keep moving it round as I go, Okay, this is the forehand grip. Okay, nice powerful cut, the forehand grip, and we're just going to put that into a point. Okay, if I do it out the front as well here, so I'm just going to pull it down and I'm just going to keep on twisting. We don't want to put it into a fine pencil or needle point. Okay, that will just snap as we bury it into the ground. So we just want a rough point on the end. Doesn't have to be tidy as long as it does the job. Okay, so if that was a sharp point on the end there, that could just snap when we put it into the ground. So I'm just going to take the edge off of that a little bit. Okay, that is good enough to get buried into the ground. Okay, when we bash it into the ground, that will work. We could peel the bark off of this as well. That's another cut. Okay, we could peel the bark off of this, bury it in the embers of a fire. Okay, not in the flames, just the embers, so it sucks all the moisture out of this wood. Okay, this is peeling. Okay, and then our peg will last a lot longer. Good thing about these pegs as well is they are biodegradable. So unlike the metal or plastic pegs, if you leave them in the woods by accident, then not much of a drama. It will just biodegrade back to nature again, and you can just make yourself another peg. Okay, so at the top we need to put a chamfer or bevel the top here. So like you could do it if you were peeling the spuds, so we could just take little chunks off of the top here, or I just like to use a reinforced grip. So I've got my knife in my hand, and I'm using my thumb as a reinforced grip here, a reinforced cut. Okay, I'm just cutting all the way around the top of here, sort of turning it into a mushroom shape, and then up on the top as well, just so that we don't split this wood when we batten it into the ground. Just going to take that knot off of there. Okay, so all the way around there, just like on our tri-stick here, so we've just chamfered the end here. Okay, that's good enough so that won't split when we batten that into the ground. Now I want to get something that the cord or bungee, when I put this into the ground, so if I'm using this peg for a tarp or a tent, if I put cord around this and put it into the ground, it's just going to slip straight off. So I need to put some sort of hook or beak on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a reinforced, or sorry, a hook on the end here, so a good inch away from the top. I'm just going to push down. This is a stop cut. Okay, this stops me cutting any further. If I'm having trouble like this, I can just get a piece of wood and use that as a batten. Okay, so this is battening. So we've done a video with battening before, not too far in, and then gently pull that out, and now I've got a stop cut at the end of this peg. Now gently with a reinforced grip, reinforced cut, I'm just going to gently go up to that stop cut, gradually peeling shavings off and then digging them out. Okay, so gradually up and cutting that out, gradually cutting it out bit by bit, a little bit at a time, and then you won't go past that stop cut that you've done. Okay, it doesn't have to be pretty, as I said, as long as it works. Okay, when you really get into bushcraft, then it starts to get really pretty, make nice pretty little spoons, but for survival situation, you just need it quick time. Okay, this will work. As long as it does the job, it will work. Okay, so as you can see there, I've just cut this notch out of the peg, and that I can then place into the ground. I could then batten that into the ground, put my cord or bungee onto that hook that I've made there, and then that will hold my tarp up. Okay, or we could go another way, so I'm just going to turn it over just to show you. We could do a duck beak notch. Okay, so I'm going to place my knife in an X. Okay, I'm going to do one side, one the other. I'm going to place my knife right up to the hilt, bury that in, rock it in, and then exactly the same on the other side. So I bury that in and just give it a little rock. Okay, so I've now got myself an X at the top. I'm going to take 3 pieces out apart from the top one, where the end is, where we've battened it in, where we put a chamfer on the top. So gently, I'm going to just peel away bit by bit, and then keep going deeper and deeper with the rocking. We could batten this in as well, or we could use a saw and cut this in if we wanted to. But if we've just got our knife, we just do it gently, bit by bit. Again, safety first, so good cutting tool safety. I've got my first aid kit with me. Okay, I'm on my own out in the woods here, so I've got always have your first aid kit with you when you are using cutting tools. Okay, always have it with you, and make sure you know how to use it as well. Get yourself on a good first aid course, preferably a remote emergency first aid course, so that you can deal with situations when you're out here. On a survival school course, in the past 4 years with them, I've never had an incident. Little nicks here and there. Obviously we're using knives out in the cold, but nothing major. Okay, if you use it correctly, use it properly, it will look after you and won't hurt you. Okay, this isn't very tidy, but remember, as long as it works. There we go. Okay, so what we've got here, we've cut 3 sides out of that, and we're just left with that duck beak at the top here. Okay, again, if we batten that into the ground, this is going to act as a little hook to hold our cord or our bungee. Okay, so that is our peg done, guys. Pretty simple, okay, easily done. So, hope that helps, guys. And remember, if you lose it, you can make another one, biodegradable, doesn't matter. But really good for your cutting techniques, for your cutting skills. If you can make pegs, then you can make everything else. Hope that helps, guys. Please like, comment and share. And also check out the website, www.andyfroysurvival.co.uk. Cheers, guys.